session. I'm Ann Tracy, and I work on the Blandin on Broadband blog. My background really is as I'm a card-carrying librarian. I have a master's degree in library science. So I've been working on some level of digital inclusion for at least 20 years. This is kind of the third time that we've had a session like this at the conference. One of the things I really love about it is Maddie just sat down at Chung and said, oh, PCs for People, I wanted to meet you. Even all of the presenters, I think it's a good time for folks to just get to know each other. You meet people who are doing digital inclusion projects. I try to pick some that are projects that you can bring home to your community tomorrow and try to deploy. And then there are some that are kind of a reach. You know, I always think it's good to have things that you say, oh, we're going to do that phase 2. I'm excited for phase 2. So we're going to keep it pretty casual, and we're already starting late. I thank you all for your patience. As I said, when you're videotaping the one session and then presenting the next, there's going to be a minute. What we're going to do, we have sort of three mini sessions within this session. So we've got about 4 people per panel. What I'd like to do is get everybody time to kind of present and then have a little break. We can ask questions more publicly, but I think some of the nature of it is that more networking, have an opportunity to talk to people. And then we'll take about a 10-minute break and kind of get back then together with the next panel. So there will be 3 panels of folks. So I guess I can move with this, huh? I'll go stand by my people. This has nothing to do with anything, but really I am a librarian, and by my nature, I am much more comfortable behind a keyboard in front of people. But I started a radio show about 3 weeks ago, so I'm a little more comfortable. Because I have a face for radio. So what I'll do is I'll introduce you each individually. So, and I'm terrible. Am I just going to read what? So I'm excited to have Maddie here from PCs for People. How many people in the room have been a part of one of the BBC communities? So one of the nice things about being a BBC community is you get some of the computers that they are redistributing computers from folks. So some folks will be familiar with this, some people won't, but we're excited to have Maddie come talk about PCs for People. Let me hand you.
Why don't you?
Yeah.
Clearly I'm the queen with it.
Hi everyone, I'm so glad to be able to talk with you all and be able to work with you going forward with your communities, and I see some faces that we've worked with already. I'm from PCs for People, as Ann mentioned, and we're a nonprofit organization headquartered in St. Paul that's focused on providing affordable technology to low-income individuals in nonprofit organizations across the U.S. So we're headquartered in St. Paul, as I mentioned. We also have offices in Denver, Colorado, and Cleveland, as well as having some smaller offices across the state here in Minnesota, in Mankato, Grand Rapids, Brainerd, and in Leech Lake. We're lucky enough to be able to work with the communities to distribute 50 computers as part of the funding, and we will work with the communities that have received those computers, and you guys get to kind of pick how you want those distributed. We're actually just in Aiken last week doing the last round for the past BBC communities, and we're able to give them to low-income families that were part of the community development day there. But just a little bit more about PCs for People. We were started in 1998 in Mankato. In 2008, we became a 501c3, and when we opened our office, we had a 1,000 family waiting list of individuals waiting to get an affordable computer from us. Our partnership with Blandin Foundation started in 2010. In 2011, we launched our affiliate program, which allowed us to open our offices in Grand Rapids, Brainerd, and Leech Lake. In 2012 is when we were able to start offering internet service, and we just continued to grow from there. And now in 2018, we've distributed a large number of computers, being able to have a computer in all 50 states and Puerto Rico. There's quite a few different things that associate people with being digitally distant. And the focus we have is 200% or below the federal poverty level. So hitting those households that have an income disadvantage. Also race and ethnicity, age, educational attainment, and geography all point to what causes the digitally distant. And I'll have a more in-depth PowerPoint that Anne will be posting. But with the limited time, I kind of had to cut out some of the wonderful graphs I have. But kind of just what we do, PCs for People is an electronics recycler. We work with over 700 businesses nationwide to collect all of their retired computers. We then refurbish them and redistribute them. Also, individuals can bring by their computers. So one thing we also always like to say is when we're coming to your community to give out computers, if there's businesses that have a bunch to get rid of, let us know and we'd be happy to take them off your hands. We're a Microsoft registered refurbisher, so all of the computers that are going out in your communities will have a fresh install of Microsoft and Windows 10. We also put on some free software to ensure that the computers that are going into individuals' homes are as useful as possible. We also do computer repairs, so all the computers that we're distributing in your communities will have a 90-day warranty. If you're not close to one of our offices, we typically try and partner with a local computer repair place to honor that. But anyone can come into one of our PCs for People offices and we'll repair computers as well. And as I mentioned, we're an internet distributor. So although our internet service may not work in some of your communities, we do have a lot of partnerships throughout the state where our internet is being distributed. It utilizes Sprint's data network. It's high-speed, unlimited data, as well as $10 per month for individuals. As I mentioned, to be eligible for our program overall, you just have to provide proof of being 200% or below of the federal poverty level. So when we're partnering with your communities, we might suggest partnering with a school and focusing on those that are receiving free or reduced lunch, partnering with a workforce center, partnering with a Head Start program, something like that. We have a few other ways to extend our partnership opportunities with your communities further than just the computers that you're distributing. We have a Bridging the Gap partnership that allows nonprofit organizations to help individuals sign up for our services even once we've left your community. We're able to ship both computers and internet service to individuals' homes, and we're happy to partner with local school districts, any housing authorities, anything like that to help your residents gain some of those services. We're able to do a distribution event, which is what we'll be doing in the BBC communities in these coming months. We'll come with our truck, 50 computers. We'll have worked with you to find those recipients beforehand, and they'll be able to come. We'll do a brief training on how their computer works, and then they'll get to leave that day with a functional computer. Another way that we've been able to partner with local communities more recently, we're able to do it in Hibbing and a few other rural libraries across the U.S. is through creating a hotspot lending program. So we'll partner with a library or school. They'll purchase some hotspots in bulk from us and lend them out to recipients on a 2 to 3 week basis. And I know that there's been quite a lot of success in those libraries to allow individuals to gain access and test it out and see how much of an impact it can have in their lives. But that's kind of my brief overview about PCs for People and our focus on digital inclusion, and I encourage you to ask me questions.
Does anybody have a question they want to ask? No, there we go.
I'll just yell, only individuals can get these, or can?
We focus mainly on individuals, however, nonprofit or 501c3 nonprofit organizations are eligible as well.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
On the, even though we're able to spread across, not all of our cities have a library in that. Is there something where we can do the data lending from the city hall, or?
Yeah, yes. If you're interested in working with a hotspot lending program and creating one with us, libraries is what we typically work with because they have an infrastructure, but we're wanting to do it with any organization who's interested in that program.
Is the hotspot just Sprint, or is it flexible on?
Our partnership is just with Sprint, so unfortunately it would just be in service areas that receive Sprint service.
Thank you.
We're going in order of the program, because again, I'm the one who takes the notes and does all that archiving of the event, and it'll make my life easier. I'm delighted to have our next speakers. There are kind of three prongs to digital inclusion. It's getting people to access, getting people to computers, and teaching people how to make the best use of it. And what we're going to learn a little bit more about now is making the best use of it. So we have Chung from Project Fine here. Project Fine, I'll let you talk most about it, but I love some of the stories about in making new Americans feel welcome in Winona, Minnesota. I visited a couple times, I say, and I think we were out on the road a couple of years ago and talked to a convenience store that had a website and made a huge difference in their business. I just think it's awesome to hear about the good use of it. So without further ado.
Thank you. Anyway, my name is Changsher Wang. I am from Project Fine. And normally Fatima Sayi is here, but today because of some other reasons, and she sent me here, but I'm glad to be here. Again, my name is Changsher Wang, and I'm from Project Fine. Fine stands for Focus on Integrating Newcomers Through Education. And so we have been in Winona for quite some time, and this is one of our programs. We have a few programs that we got money from the Blandin Foundation. And the first program we had here is to help elderly people or some people who had not had much contact with computers. And so they are really excited and happy that we have this program for them. And we have a good number of people who participated in here and provide them with some computers. And how I approached this in the beginning was, how do people go from one place to another? And we would talk about the express pony horse, and many were shocked. But nowadays we have automobiles and we have airplanes to deliver mail. But knowing this idea, they learn and they really enjoy. So we have a lot of elderly people who had never used computers before who came, and we also have some young people who had not touched computers before that came. So we have a magnitude of different types of people who came and who have experience. And then this is another one that we have, kind of show them some of the resources that internet has. And so we're moving from letting you know what a computer is, the experience with that, now what kind of resources they can give you. So we have created a PowerPoint so that they can share with us and be able to access the information in the computer about their culture, about their countries. They can access that. So you give them some tools, new tools that they can use and they can present to the class. So it's very nice. So there shows you the number of people who participate in the programs, and also shows you what we have done with the participants. And this is also another one, how dangerous a website could be. So we teach them not only to know about computer, not only to do computer works, but then also be aware of what the things that they can put in there that can cause you to lose money or can cause problems to your computers. So we have a great number of people who come in the 2014 to participate. And they all really enjoy, and we have set Facebook to communicate with us individually. And then from the front end, we really work with some local business people who has a hard time reaching out to the audience. And this is one of the ways that the Blandin leadership or Blandin Foundation has helped us with providing some money that we can use to educate these individuals, to put their posts up, to let people know about their businesses, whether it's restaurant, gas stations, or auto place that fix cars. So this is one of the many ways that we do with people and get them involved. So we have a great number of individuals who have created website about their businesses. And not only working with adults, but then we also have some funding from the Blandin foundation to work with young people to create some ideas for them to have this code so that they can work on and develop to tell who they are and what they're looking for. So we also have some visitation for them to go to visit different the schools and different places that can help them to really get some education about the work that they do. And besides that, this is what we had taught them and had engaged or had involved in other businesses and different entities to talk about what is being useful as technologies. Okay, thank you. Are there any questions from the audience?
Can I ask you to talk a little bit more about some of the diversity Facebook pages? I know you had some interesting stories of.
No, we have created some because in the past, many of them wanted to show individuals or others who are interested in the culture. Many of them have put their information web page on and have been accessed by other family members to know more about who they are and what their interests are.
Was there another question?
Yeah.
Are you finding that getting more interest from other immigrants from outside of the city of Winona, or just people living in the city?
Well, we have individuals who are interested in that, but then the focus was just for Winona County. And so we strictly just go through that, but then we are helping on the side for people who are outside the county who are interested in the area. Yeah, there are small cities like Goodman, Lewiston, Altura, Lewiston, Winona, Rowanstone. All of these are part of Winona County.
All right, and I think the next up is Crystal Phillips from Cook Library. I always like to have a couple librarians in where I can. It's been a long time since I've sat at a reference desk, but at one time I really did. So I'm hoping we can hear a little bit about your checkout program, the hotspot checkout program. And if I had one wish, I would like you to just, even though it's maybe not entirely broadband related, talk about their teen program, getting teens to sleep over at the hotel or at the library at night. I would like to send all my teens there.
Okay. Hello. Again, I'm a librarian just like Anne, and I would rather not be behind the microphone. But the stuff that we got from my library is really important and exciting, so I'm here to share it with you guys. As she said, I'm Crystal Phillips. I work at the Cook Public Library. Those of you who don't know where Cook is, we're that dot way up there. It's on the map. We're a very small city, 574 people. We're actually lucky to have a library, so we try to do everything for it. We're part of the Northwood School District, so when we became a Blandin community, we partnered with Orr and Boys Sport, and we became a community in 2016. So at one of our community vision meetings, we got to write on a big piece of paper, and people were really excited about what we could do to the library to become a technology hub. And the hotspot checkout was a big deal. So what I'm going to talk about is some of these things that we have been able to implement at the library. So we do the hotspots for checkout. We do have 5. They work on the AT&T network. We chose AT&T just because of where we are, and that was like the best option for us. And they work pretty well for a remote area. We check them out for 1 week, so it's just like when we turn out books or DVDs or anything else. We do have a waiting list because there are only 5, and it's kind of been word of mouth, and it's becoming more and more popular. Since December, we've had over 130 checkouts. And that's just a picture of what it looks like. Pretty simple device. The nice thing about these is we have a lot of rural residents who come in. a lot of homeschoolers who come in and they don't have good access to internet, and this is an option for them. Something else that we were able to get is a smart TV with a rolling cart, which is amazing because we use it all the time. We use it for a lot of programs. I'll actually go ahead and here's what it looks like. Our library was the one library in Minnesota who was chosen to get a grant from PBS to do some programming around the Great American Read. And there we are watching Great American Read. And actually, they're announcing the nationwide winner tonight, so everybody should tune in. There's my plug for PBS. We've used it for teen events, and I will talk about the teens later in this, but they've been using it a lot. We've done webinars, especially for the city and staff. And we want to sometime do a documentary series, like in the wintertime, and maybe do some author Skype sessions, especially with our elementary kids. Oh, there's me. So I was actually in the paper last week for this, but there's that big screen TV again. So we've been using it a lot. So computer internet classes was another thing that we targeted for our community. We felt like education for internet and computer was important. The Northwood School also did a program of classes. Ours were bi-monthly, and I did the curriculum for them and taught them. We found out the most popular was bring your own device, because everybody has a different device and a different problem. And so we kind of have morphed it into Computer Help Tuesdays, so people can come in and just see me on an individual basis, and it's not so intimidating to them. That's just what our schedule looked like. We did it through October through April. And like I said, now they just come in on Tuesdays and they bring me everything that you can imagine, which is interesting for the librarian. The other thing that we got were 5 laptops. So we do have public computers at the library. These were specifically to do some classes and then some more training. So one thing we were able to start was a coding class for kids. So they were able to use our meeting room and learn how to do some coding back there. Again, we also use them during the computer classes that I taught. I also use them for tech help. So if I just need to show somebody how to do something on the program, I can do that really easily. Staff training, and then what we found is sometimes our public computers, there are too many people, and these have been a supplement to those public computers, so they can just go in the back room and use them. This was huge. When I got there, we moved all of our public computers out to the front. We now have 5 public computers, 2 Macs, and 3 Windows, and there were 2 outlets on that whole side of the building. Now we have 24, which is amazing. Every computer has its own outlet, and we really could expand if we wanted to, and we probably will. All the computer wiring was redone, so each computer has its own wire. We also installed some Wi-Fi ports, both inside and outside. When I first got there, if you went in the back into the meeting room, you had no Wi-Fi signal, which is a problem, because we have a lot of people who would like to work back there, including students, and people who work remotely just need that space. Now they can. We also are doing an outdoor project, a patio project, and now the Wi-Fi is outside. We used to be there, and people would be parked in the corner of our parking lot where the signal was. Now they can be all over, which is a good thing. And there's just a picture of our space, our public computers. So PCs for People. We were one of the communities that were able to get those computers. We did partner with WIC, our local WIC, and they've been able to help us get those computers out into the public. And people are very exciting. I will tell you, my assistant will go into the grocery store and people will thank her. Thank you so much for that computer. It's been a really big deal for a lot of families in our community. So here I'll talk about the teens. So here's for Anne. Prior to 2017, the Cook Public Library did not have a teen program at all. We saw that there was a need for one, and some kids were really, really into it and wanted to do it. So we created a teen advisory board. They are responsible for all the teen programming and for their meetings, and I'm just kind of an advisor. What they decided to do in 2017 during summer reading was to do a Harry Potter themed overnight in the library. So they had to earn 100 points, and they did that in various ways. They volunteered, they attended programs, they checked out books. And I think the first year we had 6 kids who were invited, we had 5 who stayed overnight. So I am one of the ones that stays overnight and has to stay up all night. My library assistant, she just turned 69, and Margaret gets a little corner with a blow-up mattress and gets to go to bed at midnight. And then she gets up at 6. And they're so respectful of her, and they love that she's there, and I love that she's there too. But some of the events that they had a Nerf war that first year, which I will tell you, a shelf came down, which was exciting, which I think they saw Madam Librarian get really crabby for just a second. Luckily, it was just paperbacks, nobody got hurt. We still find Nerf guards in the library to this day. The Harry Potter, they did, I think they watched the last 2 movies. They ended up watching some more movies as well. There was a lot of chair races and things around the stacks. They had a lot of fun. So after we had done that, they said, we really want to do something during winter readings. We said, okay. So we were able to use that big screen TV again. They did a double feature of the Sherlock Holmes movies. They did an Escape the Library, which was crazy. Oh, so that's the 2017 overnight. That's before we got to stay all night. Oh, here we go. So that's me in the green doing We Just Dance. If anyone tried to do Rasputin from Just Dance against a 14-year-old, I lost bad, and I thought I was going to die. So we didn't have Wii this last time. We had Wii for other things, but we didn't do it for this last one. So this is actually the Escape the Library. They had to use the computer to look up some of the clues. I think the theme was Alice in Wonderland, and all the clues were based on that. So they did use the computers for that. And this is this year. So this year it was the 100 points for the Marvel movie party, which was awesome because I love Marvel movies. So this is part of them. They are doing Marvel Pictionary, which is a lot of fun. And this is actually done the next morning. Here I am. The teen program is amazing, and if you are part of your libraries or want something fun to do, the kids love it. And like these are kind of my board. You have to be 13 to be a board member. We don't care how many board members we have. We invite 7th grade and up. I will tell you, our elementary kids coming up cannot wait to be a teen. They can't wait to get into 7th grade so they can do this, and they want to be on the board, and they're so excited. So that's my library.
I love that the reward is spending the night in the library. Questions? Did you, and maybe I missed it, did you talk about how they get points?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. So they volunteer. We have a lot of shelving, which we have to do a lot of cleaning up of the shelving, but
I can only imagine.
they like to shelve wherever, at some point. But checking out, going to the program, being on the board, they get 20 points right out of the gate if they're on the board. So they all want to be on the board.
Nice.
But they all like doing the planning, so I don't know, it's fun and I love it. So
I have to admit, I love it. When I was a kid, you get a sticker for each book you read. competitive reading. I finally found my sport. And I was merciless too. How many books did you read? Just terrible. Any questions? You know, the one question I have, and it's maybe one librarian to another, except I think there are enough people in this room who might be in a similar position. How do you prepare for Tech Tuesday when people are going to bring in their device? Because you're looking at I sometimes would call that stump the chump.
It is. I don't know. And the more, especially in my library, it's just me, and I'm not even full-time, and my assistant, who is 10 hours a week. And so I'm the only one that does them on Tuesdays. It's just doing it. And it's just because I've seen a lot of questions. It's kind of what libraries do now.
Yeah.
We have to be tech people, and people like us because we're free. But I will say, you know what, it's always good for me, no matter what it is, just to go through the process, because both of us learn, the person asking the question and me, so that I can help the next person. For the most part, you just roll with it.
All right, great, thank you very much. Now we've got Leah with the Winona Friendship Center. This is one of my favorite projects. Was it 2 years ago that you came to talk a little bit about this? Was it 3 or 4? Yeah. How often do I say, it was 2 years ago, it was 20 years ago, Mom. I feel like to say anything about it is gonna give it away, but I know people were excited to hear about it last time, and I think it reaches a unique audience that a lot of people really do want to reach in a fantastic way as well.
So I am Leah Fox. I am the director of the Winona Friendship Center. In layman's terms, that is a senior center. We try to stay away from the negativity of that word senior and go with older adult a lot. So we switched the senior center to just the Friendship Center. A little history of us. Winona is a population of 27,000. My membership at the Friendship Center is 1,026 people. Now this is a part of the Park Recreation Department. This is an older adult recreational facility. This is not an assisted living or a long-term care facility. It is a senior center. We do serve the rural communities. We sit right on the Mississippi River, and Wisconsin is like out our window. And so a lot of people from Wisconsin will also come over to our center. We have a budget of $434,000. The $140,000 is for information and referral, also known as advocacy through the Older Americans Act. We employ myself, I have a program coordinator, I have a secretary, a maintenance person, a couple of advocates, a health specialist because we have a workout center, we have 2 part-time aides, about 6 contracted employees, which they lead Zumba or yoga or Tai Chi, any kind of land aerobics, Nia, those kinds of things, and about 150 volunteers. How my program started, Friendships Forever. You can see on the large screen there a woman, and she's in her home. And then there's 4 boxes up there. There were a couple of other women in their homes, and we are in there as well. And how this started, Senior Learning Network is out of Kansas City, and it is a huge network of teleconferencing programs. So we started with Senior Learning Network in 2012, bringing teleconferencing to our members. And we will go to the National Archives, we will go to Denali Park, we will go to Hearst Castle. That is one of our favorites, is to go to Hearst Castle. We've got one coming up, Christmas at Hearst Castle. Live dives, live hikes. We've been to the Ukraine, just all over the world. We're hooking up to docents or park rangers or museum curator, and we talked to them live about an hour-long teleconferencing. That's how we started. This happens to be a party. Right after we started with the teleconferencing, I became a little saddened that a couple of my volunteers wouldn't be attending because they had had illnesses. And they had actually called me and said, I'm not going to be able to come to volunteer recognition this year. Oh, that was really sad. Why couldn't they come to the volunteer recognition? We can Zoom now. So I sent out some students with lovely, all the decorations, and we sent the meal to them, and we sent the prizes and all those kinds of things in a little like welcome basket. Students went out, brought them back, and they were part of the volunteer recognition party. During this, and it went on for 2 hours, I recorded this thing for 2 hours because I couldn't watch it. I was doing many other things, as Anne knows. And later I went back and I watched it. One of my members had walked up to the laptop up there. We were pretty archaic back then. We've gotten a little better now. Walked up to the laptop and said to one of the women, "Hi, Shirley, I haven't seen you in a long time. What are you doing?" Shirley picks up a cat, puts it right in the webcam and says, "Here's my cat." And she said, "Oh, I'm doing well. I take the garbage out." And I thought, oh, this is horrible. This is a woman that's been working out in my wellness center forever, and her idea of a good time is she's getting outside and taking the garbage out. So now I've got this huge realization that we have members that can no longer get to the center, and what can we do about that? So we've got our senior learning network, if anybody needs that website. A Zoom room, that's how we hook up. And we came up with Friendships Forever. It's our program dedicated to reaching out to homebound older adults. They can participate in the activities that are happening at our center from the comfort of their home. I have Winona State University, I have St. Mary's University, and I have Southeast Technical Community College in Winona. So we have a plethora of students. They are hungry to be with older adults. Of course, we all think that means the social workers and therapeutic reps. I have IT students that want to be with older adults. I have math students, I have education, just anything and everything. They just want to have that interaction. They come to the center, they pick up an iPad, they take it back to the older adult's home. I needed to take away all threats for the older adult. I don't have a computer, and I don't want to know anything about a computer. Okay, don't worry about it. We got the iPads, we got the students. Well, I don't have that whatever that internet is. I don't have that. I don't pay for that. I'm not going to pay for that. It's okay. We've got the data. So we purchased, via Blandin's help, 5 iPads with data, and also the ability to hire someone, a student, to be able to manage that first year. And so then they go out into the homes, and there's some of my students in the poster session for gerontology, all smiling and happy. So what happens on the client side, we call the interested person, we set up a time to meet with them, discuss the programs and activities that they can come to at the center. Obviously, they're not going to work out in the wellness center. Obviously, they're not going to shoot a game of pool. But do you want to go to those teleconferences? Do you want to be a part of Tai Chi? Do you want to do yoga? What are the things that you would like to do? Our brain health series. So they go through the programs. We bring the iPad, we zoom back to the center. Those are hysterical because they'll zoom back to me, and usually I get these looks of, they're just staring at me. Where are you? I'm in my office. Oh, is this recorded? No, this is live. And so that's their first experience. It's pretty cool. We bring the copy of the calendar, we choose activities that they have interest in, and then we learn some things. We got to ask, do you need a reminder call? And most of them do want that reminder call. From the volunteer side, we email teachers, professors, club leaders, organizations, letting them know of this volunteer opportunity. I have more volunteers than I have clients for this. We set up times to visit the classrooms and go over the Friendship Forever program. The assigning of clients comes on first come basis. Background check needs to occur, obviously. And with student schedules, of course, it's in real time. So if we're doing Tai Chi from 9:30 to 10:30, Tuesday through Friday, my students need to have that open time. We go through a training with the students, the iPad checkout, how Zoom operates, program details for our programs, appropriate behavior and expectation of volunteers. They fill out an application, they sign confidentiality. I don't need students out there telling people this woman lives alone on the corner of Franklin and Broadway, those kinds of things. Their availability and contact information. We do some pre-eval surveys on our client side, on our student side. I like to measure what are their thoughts of what this program is and who older adults are. And then we like to do post-evals. Who do you think older adults are now? And same with our clients. How was this? How was your health prior to this? What is your health after this? What is your emotional state? Those kinds of things. This is outdated. You don't keep in contact with students via email. Everything is by text. They never read those emails. And that's how we contact them regarding our clients and activities and the visits. We also encourage them if they're feeling as though something strange was happening in the home. There have been things such as we have found out someone was vulnerable, as in they let a student know that maybe someone was taking advantage of them financially, or that they were feeling frightened of someone that had come over. So it's another set of eyes. There's always programs that you start and you learn all kinds of things afterwards, which for some reason I just never understand how they don't know those things ahead of time. Some members like to chat, so we talk to our students about how to get out of there, because you've got to get back to school. Then we also needed to let them know, don't bring friends unless you've asked the client, and also they need to pass a background check. Results that we've seen, the activities that they're doing, chair yoga. PACE is people with arthritis can exercise. They're doing brain fitness, Tai Chi, the moving and grooving, Leah, which is a neurological integrative dance, knitting and crafts. They can knit at home. We have knitters there and they just kind of chat. The teleconferences. People are telling us that the reason they do this is to stay connected to the center and to socialize with those who may have lost touch with. They're not really doing it for the exercise benefit. They just want to be able to socialize. One participated stated that she still loves socializing and learning, and it helps her stay connected to what's going on outside her home. Back in 2017, you can see clients. I need to tell you, back when Blandin, when we first started this, we had about 15 clients. We've seen people leaving for various reasons. They have entered long-term care, possibly death. But back when we were able to have a person running the program, now we've had to put that onto other staff, and we've seen that our numbers have dropped, dipped a bit. So you'll see the 2017, and then when we go to 2018, you can see the increase in volunteer hours. So back here, we were doing, February, there was like 35 hours was the highest of volunteer hours, but we're getting 45s, and, that's one person doing more things than what they were doing before. Also, we're starting to build up. Before I left, I checked the calendar, and we were up to about 10 clients. So we're back, getting back to higher clients. And I don't know if I can get this or not. Can you click that for me? I'm hoping. Yes. Let's just speak to it. It's got it on this screen.
Are you seeing it? You're happy to need to see it, not that one. Let's just click out of it.
So with this, it's just a quick little video of how it works in a couple of our members in their homes, and then the instructor doing her moving and grooving at the Friendship Center. I don't know if it's your input.
Says happened to me when I was presenting, and then I never paid attention. Well, we might leave it up here and people can walk by, take a look,
Okay.
think, yeah.
So on
Yes,
the,
and I will act it out, but pretend
Yep.
I'm a little older.
yeah, it really is sweet if you do get to see it. The one woman who is at the bottom of the screen, and she's moving with her volunteer, she has macular degeneration and she's extremely deaf. So she keeps walking up to the iPad and she's laughing and having the best time trying to see the movements that are going on. The other woman who is sitting in the corner, her volunteer is very tech savvy, so she stays off camera the whole time. And the woman who is sitting, we had members at the center start complaining because she was always rocking in her chair and watching us. And that was another thing that we learned, is that we needed to get, yep. Without falling.
Yeah.
Oops, sorry, I shouldn't have said anything. You got it muted over on the right, isn't it? But, so you can see she's sitting, there you go. We had to encourage our students not to just go there, set it up, and then sit back. They needed to do the exercise with the clients as well. So then she started engaging. So that was our Friendships Forever program. Thank you.
Questions?
Within my organization, I do have a nonprofit that's made up of my membership with a board of directors, and they will do some fundraising for me. So right now, they are paying for the data. The data on the 5-6 iPads is running us about $220 a month for all of them, and so they pay for that. That's about the only cost I have right now, because I've given the job of getting a hold of, the volunteers and everything to another staff person. I would like to be able to get someone that, you know, at least part-time can manage that program. Does that answer your question? Okay, thanks. Anyone else? Yes. We use the Senior Learning Network. So the Senior Learning Network has a large catalog, and that it's not just for older adults. They also have lifelong learning for students and children in schools. But large catalog. And so we go through them, we go through the website, we put in what we want to see. We do about 2 of them a month, the lifelong learning stuff. You can do them every day. You can do them all day long, you know. But we don't have that room. Yes, absolutely. And they do some, with Senior Learning Network, because of the Friendships Forever program, they started looking at more individualized. So I would definitely get a hold of Ellen and Lynn in Kansas City through Senior Learning. They're very used to, Leah told us to call. And then there are individual things going on. So you're welcome. Yes. We are Verizon.
So you don't use any of the pre-K and curriculum programs?
I have no idea what prepackaged curriculum programs are. That's some IT thing, Blandin, Broadband. Anyone else? Thank you so much.
Does anyone have any questions for anyone up here before we vote along? You know, because of the questions that have just come up, Crystal, do you use with the hotspot checkout? Do you do the special deal with that? So there are government, there are special rates you can get for some of these devices. I'm looking at. I think I'm out of that.
Okay, it's 2:10 now. We just have a kind of a milling about, a slight break for about 10 minutes so that we have time to get the new panelists up here and everybody can stretch. And I think I saw there were some bars out there, but if we get back together here in 10 minutes at 2:20.